G'day guys, back again. Thought might do a reasonably, well, hopefully a shortish video, and try to cover several topics as well in that video. First one's relating to this one here, the 24550 Lockwood. I was in commentary with Mr. L or Mr. Lockwood regarding the actual shackle. If it could be or can be or should be retained in the body as a captive shackle, or if not, it's just the way it's designed, where it's it'll always be that function. It's pretty rudimentary lock actually. Doesn't have many components to it. It's just a shackle, obviously. What I did know about the shackle, notice, but inside, you can see that there's like a plastic insert, partial insert, that keeps that shackle, yeah, nice and firm in its position in relation to it going that way, as opposed to having slop. Yeah, you can feel it's very snug. But that's not the topic at hand anyway. That's just like a byproduct of what I noticed. So anyway, like the parts to it are very, like I said, rudimentary. You've got the housing on plug, well, it's 530 with that separate housing adapter. The two locking balls, retainer screw obviously, and the actuator. The actuator is actually just a solid piece. One part, that's it. Like I said, pretty rudimentary too. Just corresponds with the opposing legs on the 530 plug. But what I did notice, it's not symmetrical. There's a slight difference on the flat edge here. It's longer than the bottom. As you can sort of tell, that indentation there as opposed to that indentation smaller. Yeah, so it can go in either in that position where the flat part, the smallest flat part, is facing towards the Bible, or you can rotate at 180 and have the actuator with the flat part, with the wider flat part, in line with the Bible. So it's obviously not symmetrical, so it's a two-way thing. So what I think I'll do, I might place it in, assemble it in relative to the housing and the actuator with the longer flat edge facing the Bible. Assemble it and check it out, see what happens to the shackle, if it becomes a captive shackle or not, and then take it apart and just do a 180 flip and try again. So anyway, I'll try it with the longer flat edge facing up towards the Bible. What I'll do with these, I'll give them a little, and this is just for the sake of transparency, this is Vaseline for work purpose only. Yeah, I'm not going overkill with this with the Vaso either. Just enough to keep it tacky to stick inside the cavities in the shackle. Well, that's the theory anyway. Okay, so anyway, we're going to go with the long edge towards the Bible. So if you just take note of that, the actual little circular indentation is, yeah, facing towards this edge. now it's not. Now it's facing that way. Anyway, I'll keep it in that position and make sure it's 180 degrees when we assemble next time. So. Okay, that's interesting. I'll actually put the screw in there. I'll do this off camera. I can't do it through the bloody camera. They're annoying the shit out of me. Yeah, sorry about that fluffing around. Yeah, trying to do it with a bloody small flat blade screwdriver. Kept he stripped it. It wasn't bright, but anyway. Yeah, it's obviously in the lock position. It actually is captive now, and it's key retaining. Well, there you go. What I think's happened, well, I want to prove it now if I can, is that actuator. I didn't do it, by the way. This is how I got it out of the box when I received it. Maybe the person who had it before has put the actuator arse about, so to speak, and hence the shackle popping out. But anyway, we'll just try to prove that concept. Or just changing the actuator 180. Bloody hell, come on, it's not that hard to get the screw. Okay, as we said, that's the position it is. Well, in theory, it's just supposed to go. So I'll turn it around 180 and just to prove that theory. Yeah, so we've got that little indentation, circular indentation down this direction now. Okay, so there you go. Problem solved, I think. Yeah, that was the reason why it wasn't a captive shackle, and the shackle being dead, as in no spring, that's not a problem. But that was the problem. It wasn't captive. So yeah, the problem was the actuator. It was arse about 180 degrees in the wrong position. But like I said, I haven't touched this. I received this and it's complete form in a box, and yeah, I haven't touched it since till now. So it was obviously it has been taken apart at some stage by someone. I'm assuming the previous owner who sold it to me, but the actuator was put in the wrong position. So yeah, problem, mystery solved. There you go, Mr. Lockwood. He did mention that they should be a captive shackle, I think, from memory. So you're right. Yeah, it's just a case of the actuator being in the wrong position. Anyway, I'll put that aside for now. I'll fix that later. Like I said, that's not for me. That's for someone else down the track. But that's another story. But yeah, I'll put that aside. 1 second, guys. I'll be back in a ticket. Alright, back again. While I'm on the subject, I'm actually 11 minutes already. Crikey. I think I waffle too much, but anyway. I was talking to Mr. L or Mr. Lockwood. Just anyone doesn't know Mr. L or Mr. Lockwood, all the Aussie guys would know who he is and be a sub to his channel. But if you don't, go and check him out, Mr. Lockwood. He's pretty cluey on Australiana and in regards to locks, and especially Lockwood. So, and he's pretty slick with the pick as well. So very talented in that regard. Probably more so than me, because I don't pick for pleasure. I pick for profit. So I like probably 80% of you guys out there are much better than me. Trust me, at picking. Anyway, I was talking to Dr. Lockwood. That's Dr. Lock. Mr. L, Mr. Lockwood, about the 246, which I've never heard of. It's a good thing about people's knowledge. You can suck it in, so to speak, and learn from it. He showed, or he sent me a link to the 246, a diagram with a few dimensional measurements of the padlock. To me, it wasn't a great photo, as in you couldn't really decipher the dimensions on the photo. Oh, I couldn't anyway. Probably going blind as a bat. But the main feature I've noticed differently was the actual shackle. Like you said, you can see definitely a different shackle in the 246. But I've never seen one before, which is, yeah, it's a good thing about you never stop learning. But that jogged my memory. I've got a 234 5-pinner, but with this shackle in it, it looks similar to the photo. I've never seen one of these before either. Well, I've seen the 234 body is no big surprise, but the shackle. This only flaw or major defect with this in regards to its losing its value for collectability, and I didn't do this, by the way. This is how I got it. Someone's at some stage just had a go at it with a hacksaw. You see the mark there, and they've probably gone through 75% of the shackle. Yeah, so I'm not sure, Mr. L, is this the kind of shackle you're talking about with the 246 in that design? Yeah, but I can't. I've looked up 246. I couldn't find any information at all, except for the link he sent me. So yeah, I thought I'd just show you that. It's a bit bizarre. I've never seen this type of application on a shackle on a 234, but it's a shame someone's bloody had a go at it with a hacksaw. But anyway, a few other things too pointed out. So I bought some these bloody HPC picks. They get me by out in the wild. They're quite satisfactory. But I noticed the quality's getting bloody worse and worse for these picks, which is strange because HPC was an American company made in Schiller Park, I believe. Got an old broken one here. Yeah, you can see. focus. Yeah. There you go. Yeah, Schiller Park, Illinois, USA, HPC, manufactured by. Yeah. What I've noticed with the new ones, I bought two. Oh, bloody, that's how they came. I haven't touched them. Obviously, you would think they'll be pretty much straight. They're actually curved. You can feel the roughness on the edge. Obviously, these have been pressed out in some factory. I'm getting suspicious that these HPC have been taken over because the actual HPC, it's got www.hudsonlockcompany.com. Never heard of them. I've got a sneaking suspicion these have been made in China, because that is not American quality, trust me. Well, shouldn't say trust me, I don't know about American quality, but all the American goods I've ever had in my life, they've been, you know, spot on. But these, yeah, these have been pressed out. They haven't even been put through a rumbler. I can feel the sharp edge from the press. The die, it's probably mild steel, I don't know, probably 0.9 mil on a big sheet going through a press. Just bang, 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 and there's just, yeah, just stamp them together. Someone else on the production line puts these cheap rivets in, and job done. Even with the old, the Schiller Park, Illinois, the difference, you see the difference in quality of the rivet. Yeah, it smells Chinese to me. Anyone knows about HPC? They've sold their bloody soul to the Chinese. Who knows? But yeah, the quality is not there, and they're bloody crap as well now lately. I noticed that there's no flex in them. It's either they break, the tips break very easily. Anyway, that's a bit of a bitch session with them. So, but they get me by on out in the real world playing with stock locks. But also, what else is there? Yeah, this is relative to Mr. L as well. Bloody neighbour and his bloody Harley. No, that's actually a Triumph actually. You noisy bastard. Yeah, that's like Mr. L mentioned that this could be a railway lock of some description. Yeah, that's the 530 kick with the separate housing. With that, yeah, see that, and this one here is the PT profile Lockwood, but that's the figure 8 housing. It's PIR 850, I believe. Yeah, so he did mention that they could be potentially used on the railways somewhere at some time, but who knows. 18 minutes, crikey. I might just keep on going. I'm nearly finished anyway. Just a little hint for people who want to, or having the inclination to try it impressioning. This is only relative to C4, the C4 profile and the C4 key. So, but the theory is the same. It doesn't matter what blanket you're going to use and what country you are, as long as you know the spacing and depth measurements. You can pretty safe in that regard. Yeah, but in regards to impressioning, you don't impression serviceable locks with, yeah, like this. It's just a pointless exercise. You pick it and drop the core and rekey. Simple as. Impression is more for old style captive cores, like this for example, or 245. This is just an example. It could be any padlock that's captive. What I mean by captive is that you can't get the core or the cylinder out without drilling the plugs to remove that core. The other option is impressing, obviously. But with impression, you can guarantee to, if you can pick it open, this is two of the clauses, if you can pick it open and you've got a blank or two spare to use, you can minimise your workload by 20%. It's guaranteed every time, if not more, depending on the bitting of the plug. This is obviously open for demonstration purposes. It's a C4. Well, it's actually a Brava kick from a deadbolt, but it's a C4 profile. What you need to do, get your blank. If at that point there where the top of the blade starts to go on the downslope, just mark that off with a black texter to the point of the top of the warding, and you'll end up with that. That's basically it. Would be your depth key for number one, the first pin on the in the plug, the save impressioning. If it's a number 9 or a number 8, it's, you know, your workload's there with impressioning. It just takes a lot of time, a lot of reading and filing, but it's like, it can be done. But yeah, if you can cut that little cut out there with a file, and if you mark, see the marks here, that first mark is 5mm from that edge, and all the marks thereafter are just over 3mm, and they're the spacings. What you do, if you put it in and it doesn't go any deeper than that first marking, then you know this is obviously a zero cut. If it doesn't go any further, you know it's not a zero, it's got to be 1 or above. So what you do, I'm not going to do this because it's getting 22 minutes, it's crazy. Just file, don't go file them right down there, you don't need to. Just file that area between the edge and the first cut. Keep filing, not too much every time, just enough. Keep going and going and going until the point where it slides in to the second mark. Then remove the key and measure from the bottom of the key to the top of that ledge you filed, and whatever the distance is. This is just an example of a C4, you know, 0 to 9 cuts on a Lockwood. So if you can measure it, say it's 252 thou, then you know the first pin is a 6 cut. So that's one cut you don't have to impression. And after that, if you actually do that and it goes further in without filing to the second cut, second mark, then you at least know that the second pin is not deeper than 6, if you know what I mean, and so on. If you're lucky enough, if you've got cuts which are, just say for example, a 6, a 7 and a 9, then that's 3 cuts you don't have to worry about, because you can, after the you've filed the first edge to get your first cut, you can get another key blank and go to try it on the second pin and the third pin, only if they are sort of progressively getting longer. If they're getting smaller from your first cut, then you've got to have to impression. I hope that makes sense. I'm trying to probably explain it the best I can. Doing it is much easier than trying to explain it. Anyway, that's, yeah, 24 minutes. It's crazy. But I've never done a video that long. But yeah, that's the transition of the keys and designs in time. That was always a mainstay design. Lockwood LW4 C4 profile, head on the key. I don't use this anymore. This is an old BDS key. I don't buy them anymore. When they're gone, they're gone. And then I went on to these ones, the Silka LW4L. It's an LW4 profile, just a different design head, which I thought were much, I don't know, more attractive, and I suppose in a way than the old 3-leaf clover type head. Now I don't buy these anymore. I go for the LW4G6s, which is a LW4, or you can get the LW5G6, which is the LW5 in that design head. That's the latest shape of a Lockwood key on that bow. Yeah, I like these. This is what I use now. So anyway, I thought I'd throw that in for a bit of useless information. Anyway, I hope that makes sense with the cutting your impressioning by minimum 20% with the first cut. But you work it out. It's not that difficult. But yeah. Anyway, I better pull the plug on this. It's getting a bit too late. So until next time, take care and goodbye.